All right, this is Tom.
Randy.
And Randy's sort of the liaison on this project. And so he's gonna take me on a tour because I'm full of stupid questions and he's full of smart answers.
Okay, so what we're doing is we've removed everything on the spillway from north of the bridge all the way out to the waterfront. So we've stopped the water from coming in out here, put some sandbags, put some plastic over the sandbags and some sand over to the top of that, keeping the water in the lake. We got a pump here to, if we get any water that comes in, but we've taken everything from here now all the way back to the other side of the bridge. We're postured now to commence the installation. In fact,
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt with questions here, okay? How thick was the concrete that was taken out?
Interestingly enough, there was very little rebar in the concrete that was taken out. However, the floor of the spillway was about a foot thick, and then the side walls that angled up from the floor started out at about 8 inches and went down to about 2 inches at the top.
So that trench that they were digging yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so a spillway is supposed to have this wall. It's a vertical wall of concrete, and it's called a cut-off wall. It cuts off the water from flowing underneath of the bottom of the spillway. And in fact, we put in a 1 foot thick, 1 foot wide, 6 feet deep, and 32 foot long wall here. And in the top of it, we've actually installed this white rubber piece that's 6 inches tall. 3 inches goes down into the wall of the concrete. The top 3 inches will go into the floor. It's called water stop, and it keeps the water from the lake from flowing between the cutoff wall and the floor of the spillway.
Can we go down there and take a look at it?
Please. So this is it's a pretty strong rubber piece. It's called water stop. It's already embedded down into the concrete vertical wall. And then the other half of it's up here. It's got these grooves in it. This is to form what's called a labyrinth seal. And the floor will come up here and go in this direction. In fact, these rebars will fold over and be tied into the rebar in the floor, and it will join this joint, but the water stop will keep the water from flowing between the floor and the cutoff wall.
And how far down does this rebar go?
This rebar goes to the bottom of the cutoff wall, which is 6 feet.
Okay, Randy, so the walls that we had here before, they were coming in and they had put in I-beams to keep them from failing. What are they doing here? Anything different?
Okay, it's a good question, Tom. So first of all, there will be a vertical wall on both sides, just like there was on the other side. We'll have rebar tying any seams of the walls together, but more importantly, there will be what we call kick walls. They'll be digging into the outboard side and digging out a wall that will go back. And in fact, there are five kick walls on each side of the spillway heading in each direction. So there's 5 that'll go that way and 5 that'll go this way. And on a likewise, there's one that goes north of the bridge to hold the side walls in. It's a rotating wall, so it holds weight on the back side so that it doesn't push over and in like it did before.
Okay, so this cable that's going across here, it's hanging in the air now. Before, that was attached to the side, the edge of the bridge.
The north edge of the bridge, yes, sir.
What is this cable?
Okay, first and foremost, this is the telephone wire. And for those of you who get internet from CenturyLink, it's also your internet wire.
Very important cable.
Very important cable. It has been repaired once in its lifetime, hence this bulge. We've reached out to CenturyLink and asked, because this is not the final cut location for the north wall, we're going to go north of this about 6 or 7 feet to do the transition in from the new equipment into the existing equipment. And we've reached out to CenturyLink and asked if they would like to put this in underground, in conduit, and we're waiting for that answer.
This is the depth of the concrete spillway that's going down to the creek, right? So what is that?
So quite actually, I was thinking, because they saw this as a controlled cut to know where the concrete was going to break. I thought that they had said that this was a full-on foot, but I got to tell you, if that's 6 inches, I'll eat my hat.
Okay. And interestingly enough, the Over here, when you were digging, you had a nest of bumblebees?
Yeah, the yellow and black fuzzy big fat bumblebees. I asked him to take that corner out before he left this weekend so that they'd settle down before
They did not
Monday.
like that.
They didn't like it.
And these are some of the beams left over from the deck of the bridge?
Oh, this is so fascinating. This is a true statement. Look at this stuff. This is solid redwood beams, and it's like 2.5 or 3 inches thick. This is monster wood, and so I've saved part of it, and I have an idea of maybe something that we can do for an art project inside the clubhouse with some of this leftover wood.
Very cool. And this bridge originally was built when?
I don't know for sure when the bridge was built. I know that the spillway had 7/1960 scribed in the concrete. I can't speak to when the actual bridge got built.
Because I've heard everywhere from 59 years to 60 to something like that.
But we've come in here several times with equipment. It's very packed. It's very good soil. We've scraped it smooth so that it can dry a little bit for Monday's start of gravel and leveling and the prep for the rebar install.
Okay, so they're going to prep the base, get it set for rebar, ready for pouring. So they'll pour this first and then the sides?
Actually, I as it relates to the details of that, I can only speak to the fact that there's a foundation that is going to be installed for both side walls. It's going to be built out of what's called formadrain, but the pickle is formadrain allows water to go from the lake to the spillway. So only part of the side actually gets covered in the formadrain as it relates to the foundation. The rest of that will be poured in clay and packed with clay, because clay is the medium that keeps the water over there. So the first 10 feet won't have any formadrain or gravel along the outside of either side wall. Everything beyond that to the north will flow to the spillway.
So when the deck of the new bridge is poured,
Yes, sir.
one day, the school buses and everybody can start driving on it the following morning?
That's a very interesting point. So we will test the concrete, and concrete takes a little while to be prepared. It usually takes about 7 days to get to full strength, sometimes a little longer. So I'm anticipating that while the bridge will look like it's ready for service, we're going to have to wait about a week for the concrete to cure to allow us to cross the bridge.
Makes sense. So if the weather is perfect and you had to bet on a date, what would you say?
I'd say 3 weeks from today.
3 weeks from today.
That's Randy's hunch.
Okay. And we're not putting any real money on this.
3 weeks from today. I'll stand up for that.
All right, cool. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate you letting me in the site.
Pleasure. Thanks for your interest, Tom.
All of the progress so far is the result of 4 days work. Monday there was a squall, there was rain here. So they started on Tuesday, it's Friday afternoon now, and they got this far in 4 days, which is really impressive.